Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. NFL giving Atlanta Falcons chance to avenge 3 years of frustrations. Pittsburgh Steelers vs. Atlanta Falcons is a Week 1 matchup that matters to few outside of the respective fan bases. For the Steelers, it is a key game they need to win in an impossible division in the NFC. It is the debut for either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, offering what Steelers fans hope is a new chapter for the offense. Mike Tomlin's Steelers showing up to play at a high level can be counted on. No matter the opponent, Tomlin has a reputation for having his team ready to fight. This is especially the case in Week 1 in a game that perhaps means a bit more to Atlanta. If healthy, this will be the debut of Kirk Cousins and new head coach Raheem Morris. Morris, however, isn't the coach many Falcons fans will have their focus on. That particular honor goes to current Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. The 2023 Atlanta season was perhaps best defined by Arthur Smith's forlorn looks up at the scoreboard. Looking to the heavens, hoping they had answers he so obviously lacked. Smith was the king of running plays that were unexpected for obvious reasons. Whether it was a Jonnu Smith sweep or refusing to use his best players in key spots, the offensive management was maddening. Add in Smith's demeanor with the Atlanta media and the frustration was at an incredible high by the end of his tenure. The NFL has perfectly set up Atlanta to get early revenge with a Week 1 matchup against the Steelers. The NFL's ability to craft the schedule and time their events throughout the year is unlike any other league. Arthur Smith's failures and frustrations with the head coach will still feel fresh for many fans in Week 1. While perhaps deep into the season it is a forgotten piece of the puzzle in a playoff hunt. Add in 2 weeks of facing the Eagles and Chiefs after this game and the importance is further magnified. This game means more to Atlanta fans based on the impact on the rest of the season and what Arthur Smith put this franchise through. Smith's ego was unable to hand off play-calling duties or add a much-needed quarterback. It is what doomed the head coach and caused what were 3 wasted years for a franchise desperate to return to relevance. Patrick Queen named top 10 linebacker, going to see how good he really is. The Pittsburgh Steelers made a splash by bringing in LB Patrick Queen as a free agent from the division rival Baltimore Ravens, and Queen pencils in as Pittsburgh's top option at the position. He's one of the best off-ball linebackers in football, being named a second-team All-Pro last season, and CBS Sports' Jordan Dajani ranked him the number 8 off-ball linebacker in the NFL. We are going to get to see how good Queen really is now that he's in Pittsburgh. The former first-round pick thrived next to Roquan Smith in Baltimore, but now is expected to be the top dog, Dajani wrote. He's clearly capable, as Queen is one of just 6 players to record at least 450 combined tackles and 10 sacks in the last 4 seasons. After recording 133 combined tackles, 3.5 sacks, 6 passes defensed and 1 interception in 2023, Queen earned his first Pro Bowl and All-Pro selections. Queen's former linebacker partner in Smith ranked number 2 on the list, and while there's been some skepticism about whether Queen will excel away from Smith, an idea that the Athletic's Jeff Zrebiec said is unfair. Queen signed the richest free agent contract in Steelers history. The hope is that he can step up and fill a void at inside linebacker that's existed pretty much since Ryan Shazier's career-ending injury in 2017. While the inside linebacker room did look good last year with the additions of Cole Holcomb, Elandon Roberts, and Quan Alexander, Holcomb and Alexander suffered season-ending injuries and the room became a shell of itself despite Roberts' best efforts late in the season. The addition of Myles Jack did help solidify it at the end of the season, with Jack and Roberts forming a surprisingly solid duo. But Queen is a player who should take the room to the next level, and with the addition of Peyton Wilson in the draft, this should be the best inside linebacker room that the Steelers have had in years. The play of Queen is going to be paramount to the room, and he's the unquestioned leader and the guy expected to be the team's best player. If he struggles away from Baltimore, that won't be good news for the Steelers. While they have the depth now to make up for it, the team's expecting a lot out of Queen. He will have to prove that he can play at a high level and carry the room. I think Queen will surprise a lot of people who think he needs Smith to succeed and help Pittsburgh's defense be elite in 2024. It's definitely going to be a storyline to watch in the early weeks of the season. More often than not, the quarterback is the most valuable player on a football team. That's never been more true than in this era of NFL football. The Steelers have found that out the hard way in recent years, having some issues under center following the retirement of Ben Roethlisberger, which has ultimately held the team back. They seem to have the position figured out though, at least on paper, with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields at quarterback entering the 2024 season. That doesn't mean other players and positions aren't important. Steelers star named top trade option. The Pittsburgh Steelers are working out contract negotiations with defensive tackle Cam Heyward, but despite the captain showing up for organized team activities and minicamp, there's not too much optimism a deal gets done before the season. If an extension doesn't get done, the Steelers will have a decision to make on whether or not they'll let Heyward walk next offseason or move on from him early. If they chose to make a trade, which doesn't feel likely right now, they'll probably have takers. Pro Football Network believes it'll be their easiest move to make, naming Heyward their top trade option heading into training camp. There is no denying that Pittsburgh Steelers defensive lineman Cameron Heyward will be remembered as an all-time great in franchise history. Yet the Steelers could opt to trade him as he heads into the final season of his final contract. Heyward had just 2 sacks last season, and Pittsburgh would save $16 million by trading him in 2024, PFN writes. Heyward is expected to be back to his normal self in 2024. 2023 was lost due to injury, and looking at his stats from a year where he underwent surgery isn't an actual expectation on what's to come. Chances are the Steelers don't move on from Heyward this offseason. The two sides will continue to negotiate, but even if a deal doesn't get done, the Steelers will need their captain for a 2024 Super Bowl run. On Heyward's side, unless he's going to head to another contender, winning a Super Bowl is likely at the top of his list, and winning one in Pittsburgh would mean more than with another team. If a split is coming, it's coming in 2025. For now, no movement is expected to happen. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Cam Heyward? Leave your opinion in the comments.